Hey y'all, welcome to 6th grade, chapter 10, lesson 5. We're going to go ahead and get started. Remember, remember the area of a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2. You're going to multiply that by the height and divide it by 2. Now, doing this, they actually wrote the formula for you, but this is actually confusing to me sometimes. So, I'm going to move this a little bit. So I wrote it in a way that I can fill in the blanks and be able to get to an answer. Instead of doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with number 2. And so base 1 and base 2. So we have 5.5 plus 6.5 times the height, which is 5 feet, divided by 2. Okay? We're going to start there. Okay? Well, 5.5 and 6.5 are going to equal 13. Okay? 5 and 5 is 10. Carry the 1. I'm sorry, 12. Not 15. Not 13. 12. So 12 times 5 divided by 2. Okay? That's our new one. Okay? So 12 times 5 is 60. We still have to divide that by 2. That's 30. Okay? 30, and we're dealing with feet. And we times feet by feet, so it's feet squared. Okay? Not too bad once you get used to it, guys. Let's do another one. Okay? Again, write base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. Okay? So, number 3 says 0.2 plus 0.6 times 0.2 divided by 2. Okay? All right, so 0.2 and 0.6 are going to add up to 0.8. We still need to multiply that by 0.2 and divide that by 2. Okay? So I'm going to do 0.8 and 0.2. I'm going to multiply that, and 2 times 8 is 16. We're going to go in 1, 2 places for the decimal. Okay, so 0.16 divided by 2. Okay, 2.16. Okay, we're going to put that decimal there. Now, normally we would just put a placeholder X there, but because it's after the decimal, we're going to put a 0 because 2 doesn't go into 1. Okay, so then 2 goes into 16. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtracting, get 0. So 0.08. So 0.08. And we're working with centimeters, and we multiplied centimeters by centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to have you guys do number 4, and we're going to go down to number 5 because this is where it's going to give you a blank that you need to fill in. Okay, so area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Okay, so it's giving us the area is 60.5. Okay, base 1 is 10. Base 2 is 1. We are multiplying it by height, which we do not have, and we're dividing that by 2. Okay? So, now, time to combine our like terms first. Okay? So, I'm going to do this one first. Okay? So, 60.5 equals 11 times the height divided by 2. Okay? Still combining like terms. I'm going to do 11 divided by 2. Okay? So 60.5 equals, okay, now 11 by 2. Now, I know that that's 5.5. You can absolutely do that out if you want, okay? Times H, okay? So now, I need to get h alone. Okay, in order to do that, I have to do the opposite of the sign, which is divide, and I have to do that using the number that's there. So 5.5. Whatever I do to this side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So I need to divide by 5.5. Okay, so if you'll remember, I cannot have a decimal outside of the box. So I need to move this one and move this one. Okay, so now it's going to be 55 into 605. Okay, now if you're like me, you do not know your multiples of 55 past 110. So I'm going to go ahead and find those. Okay. Okay, so we have 55, we have 110, 165, 220, and 275. Okay, hopefully I won't have to go past that. Okay, so, all right, so 55 is not going to go into 6, but it will go into 60 one time. 1 times 55 is 55. When I subtract, I get 5. Well, 5 is definitely less than 55, so I'm going to bring down my other 5, and there's 55 into 55 one time. Okay, so my height is going to be 11 meters. It's not going to be meters squared because I didn't multiply it to get area. I got height. Okay, so your height is just in its unit, not unit squared. Okay, all right, we're going to do the same thing over here. Wants to know the height again. Okay, by the way, pause that. Make sure you write down your work. You don't have to write down your multiples, but you should write down the rest of that. Okay, all right, so again, area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Okay? All right. So it is giving us the area as 79.2. Base 1, so see this is on its side, so we're just going to use this as base 1 and base 2. Okay? Okay, so 4.2 plus 9 times the height and divide by 2. Okay? So we are going to do this part first. Okay, so 79.2 equals, this is going to be 13.2. You need to add that up. You absolutely can. No shame in your game. Okay, all right. Now, to combine my like terms, I need to do 13.2 divided by 2. Okay, so okay, now 2 is not going to go into 1, but it will go into 13 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract, get 1. Bring down my other 2. That's 12 again, so it's going to be 6.6, okay? Okay, so now 79.2 equals 6.6 times h. Okay, again, to get h alone, I need to do the opposite, which is divide, and the number with that is 6.6. I'm going to divide the other side of the equal sign because whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side. 6.6. So now I need to move the decimal once. So now it's going to be 792 divided by 66. Okay, I have to move that decimal. I cannot have a decimal outside of the box. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and find my multiples of 66. It is okay to use a calculator to find your multiples. It is not okay to use your calculator to complete the problem. I generally do about 5 so that I've got a good idea. Okay, and we'll see what I can do from there. Okay, all right, so 66 is not going to go into 7. It will go into 79 one time. When I subtract, I'm going to get 13. 13 is definitely smaller than 66. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down that 2 and look right there. I have 132 for 2 times that was 132, subtract. So my height is 12 feet. Done. Okay, so we're going to go ahead down and we are going to do the problem solving, the word problems down at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to write my formula up here again. Okay. All right. So Sonia makes a wooden frame around a square picture. The frame is made of 4 congruent trapezoids. The shorter base is 9 inches, the longer base is 12 inches, and the height is 1.5 inches. What is the area of the picture frame? So let's see, shall we? The area is going to equal 9 plus 12 times 1.5 and divided by 2. Okay? So the area is 21 times 1.5 divided by 2. Okay? So 21 times 1.5. Okay? And then I'm going to take that number and I'm going to divide it by 2. Okay? So let's do this. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Tick, tack, toe. 1 times 21 is 21. Add those up. 5, 1, 3, go in once for the decimal, 31.5. Okay? All right, now we need to divide. So 2 into 3 goes 1 time. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract, get 1. 1 is lower than 2, so I'm going to bring down my other 1. 2 is going to go into 11 5 times. For 10, subtract, get 1. 1 is smaller than 2, so I'm going to bring down my 5. 2 goes into 5 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. I still have 1 left over, so I'm going to go ahead and add a 0 because it's after a decimal. Bring that 0 down. 2 goes into 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 0. So now there are 4 of these. Okay, it says 4 of these. 4 congruent trapezoids. Okay, so I need to take that number and I need to multiply it by 4. Okay, 4 times 5 is 20, carry our 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30, carry the 3. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. And we're going to go in 1 2 times for the decimal, so 63. 63 inches is what we're dealing with, and we multiplied inches by inches, so it's inches squared. Sorry, you guys can't see that. Okay. Okay. Pause it. Write down your work. You guys have to write down your work in order to get credit. Okay. All right. Let's do number 8. Number 8 says Brian cuts a piece of cardboard in the shape of a trapezoid. The area of the cutout is 43.5. So I'm going to write down my formula again. Okay. So the area is 43.5. Okay. The bases are 6 and 8.5. What's the height? Okay, ready? Let's do it. Okay, first I'm going to combine these. So I'm going to rewrite the rest. Okay, this is going to be 14.5. Okay. Now I'm going to do 14.5 by 2. Okay. So half of 14 is 7. Half of 0.5 is going to be 0.25. Okay. You guys can absolutely do out the math if you need to the long way. I'm going to say 43.5 equals 7.25 times h. Okay. Okay. Now, to get h alone, I need to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide, and I'm going to do it by that number. So I'm going to divide. There we go. Okay. So now I need to do the division. Okay. Now, remember, I cannot have a decimal outside of the box. Okay. I had to move it 1, 2 times. So I need to move this one 1, 2 times. So I need to put a 0 there. So it's going to be 4, 3, 5, 0. Okay. Now, like most of you, I do not know my multiples of 725. So I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator just to get my multiples. Okay. I'm just going to write those up here in the corner. Again, I usually do about 5 of them just to kind of see where I get. And then if I need to do more, I'll go ahead and do more. Okay. All right. So, oh, it looks like I'm going to have to do more because 725 is not even going to go into 435. So I'm going to have to do more until I get as close as I can get without going over. Oh, and the very next one is 4350. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It is going to be 6 centimeters. Okay, and we were finding the height, not the area. So it's not centimeters squares, it's just centimeters. So 6 centimeters. Okay, go ahead and pause this, write down your work. Okay. All right, we're going to go into the back where you guys are going to do the lesson check, just like always. And we're going to go down to the spiral review. Okay. So it says to write these numbers in order from least to greatest. Well, in order to do that, we need to have them all be the same format. So we either need them all to be fractions or all to be decimals. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to make them all decimals. It's going to be, or sorry, all fractions. It's going to be pretty easy. Okay. So the common denominator between 10 and 4 is going to be 20. Okay. So in order to get 10 to 20, I had to multiply it by 2 and multiply the top by 2, and that's going to be 6 over 20. Okay. Now, 3.1 would be 3 and 1 over 10, so it's going to be 2 over 20. Okay. I need to get it to 20. Now this one, I have to multiply the bottom by 5 to get it to 20. So I need to multiply the top by 5, and that gives me 5. So now from least to greatest, well, the smallest one is going to be this one. So it's going to be 3.1. Okay. The next one that's the smallest is going to be 5 because 5 is smaller than 6. So it's going to be 3 1/4. And then 3 3/10. All done, guys. Okay. We're going to write these lengths in order from least to greatest. So first, we need to have all of those in the same format. Okay. So we're going to have to do some conversions. Okay. I'm going to make them all into inches just because then I only have to multiply. I don't have to divide. So to get 2 yards, okay, well, each yard is 3 feet. So 2 times 3 is 6, so 6 feet, okay? And there's 12 inches in each foot. So 6 times 12 is going to be 72 inches, okay? Okay. Now, 5.5 feet Okay, well, to get 5 feet 2 inches, well, that would be 60 inches plus the half of a foot, which is going to be 6 more. So that's 66 inches. Okay? Okay? And then we have 70 inches. So from least to greatest, we're going to have 70 and, oh, nope, sorry, my bad. 66 inches, right? Which is going to be the 5.5 feet. Then we'll have the 70 inches. Then we'll have the 2 yards. Okay? All right. We are going to find the cost for a group to enter a museum. The formula to do that is going to be 8A plus 3C. Okay? 8A plus 3C. Okay? A represents the number of adults, C represents the number of children. Okay? So 3 adults, oops, sorry. Okay, so 3 adults, so it's going to be 8 times 3, because there's 3 adults, plus 3 times 5 children. Okay? So 8 times 3, 24. 3 times 5, 15. Go ahead and add those up. Okay? 4 plus 5 is 9, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So $39. Okay? Make sure that you guys stop to write down your work and your answer. And make sure you have a dollar sign in front of your answer. That's your label. Okay? All right. Brian frosted a cake top shaped like a parallelogram with a base of 13 inches and a height of 9 inches. Remember, to get the area of a parallelogram is just base times height. Okay? Nancy frosted a triangular cake top with a base of 15 inches and a height of 12. Which cake tops have a greater area? Okay? So the parallelogram is going to be 13 by 9. Okay? The triangle is going to be 15 times 12, and then we have to divide that by 2. Okay? Okay. So 9 times 3 is 27, carry the 2. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So the parallelogram is 117. Okay? The triangular is a little more complicated. So 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Okay? We're going to tick, tack, and toe, and then 1 times 15. So we have 1, 8, 1. We're going to put that 180 right in there. Okay? Now, 2 is not going to go into 1, but it'll go into 18 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract it 0. Because I ended in 0 and I have a 0 left, I can just move that 0 up. So the triangular is 90. So, okay, which cake top has the greater area? So which one? Okay, well, Brian's is the parallelogram, so Brian's is more. Okay, and then how much more is it? Well, let's do the 117 minus the 90. Okay, well, 7 minus 0 is 7. 11 minus 9 is 2. So 27. So we're going to put by 27 inches squared. Okay, and now we've answered both parts of the question. So make sure that you pause and write down your work. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out for 10.5. Come on back for 10.6. See you soon.